Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm a social researcher and I recently wrote a research update for ARC. It explores national and religious identity among Northern Ireland's young people over time, focusing in particular on the last decade or so. I'm going to be very briefly discussing this research update to give you an idea of what it's about, why it's relevant, and why you might find it interesting. Okay. We can talk about trends in the way that young people perceive their identities because ARC conducts an annual survey, the Young Life and Times Survey, to find out more about the attitudes and opinions of 16-year-olds across Northern Ireland. This is cool because it gives us some insight into young people's attitudes and the way that they feel about a number of issues, from health and well-being to school to community relations. A lot of interesting insights have been gleaned from this data and can be found on the ARC website, which is definitely worth checking out. So there are many reasons why we might be interested in the way that young people across Northern Ireland self-categorise in terms of group identity. Aside from the fact that it's just intrinsically interesting, right? Identity links us to themes like community, belonging, nationalism, etc. One of the reasons we might be interested from a Northern Irish perspective is that group identity is a topic of particular and ongoing importance here. The Troubles has been understood as a conflict with national and religious identity at the centre of it, and though it officially ended with the signing of the Good Friday Agreement in 1998, it's a conflict which is embedded in the social consciousness of Northern Ireland. Group identity continues to be important moving forward, as we recognise that both religious and national identity play a key part in developing shared communities and spaces, and a shared Northern Ireland which everyone can have a sense of belonging to. So I think that captures something about why monitoring identity categories and strength of feeling about those categories is interesting. It gives us a bit of insight into the composition of Northern Irish population, whether there are any standout directions for changes, but it also sets the tone for a lot of other important questions, such as what it means, if certain categories appear to grow or shrink, what kinds of patterns or attitudes underlie those changes, and what outcomes we might feasibly see demographically, politically, and in terms of community dynamics across Northern Ireland. I think that going forward, monitoring these trends will continue to be important, especially if Northern Ireland continues to diversify and becomes a home for people with various religious and national identity categories. I hope you find the research update interesting. Thank you for reading.